Hello, class, and welcome once again to Beetle University. I am Professor Moptop, and as always, thank each and every one of you a million times over for everything that you do. I very much appreciate it. I hope you learn something new each week. I hope you enjoy what I do here. I hope that you love the Beatles, and I kind of think you do. This week, we're going to talk about a John Lennon song, which was ultimately a B-side. It was the B-side of the Get Back single in 1969. It was the first bit of music to come out of the January 1969 sessions, which ultimately led to the Let It Be album, but it was also the subject of the Get Back documentary from this past November. The song is called Don't Let Me Down, and although John Lennon didn't have a ton of new songs for the Get Back January 69 sessions, he did start off right away with one, and it was Don't Let Me Down. It was an early offering for these sessions. In fact, it was the first song played during the sessions on January 2nd of 1969. Now, all four Beatles were there. Things were a bit tense, and well, Yoko Ono was a constant presence. Now, as we see in the Get Back documentary, Yoko being there really wasn't as upsetting to the other Beatles as the general public seems to think that she was, but she was indeed always there, and this was a new thing for the Beatles, so they were still getting used to this. They were also getting used to being filmed early in the morning as they kind of wrote songs in front of people in a strange place. It was very unusual for them, and they weren't really enjoying it, but they were professionals, and they knew they had the investment, and they knew they had to come up with something, so they did power through. And of course, they powered through with the song Don't Let Me Down. Now, there's an unfinished demo that John brought into the studio, which is barely the song at all. He kept working on it all throughout the sessions. Now, one thing that we know about John is that he always drew inspiration from whatever was around. He could find things in unique and unusual places and write a wonderful song about it. His love for Yoko Ono was brand new, and he wanted to declare this love to the world as he does in Don't Let Me Down. They played it almost daily throughout a good chunk of January. After George left for a little bit and they moved to the Abbey Road studios, they worked on it again when Billy Preston joined the fold. And it was nice to have a keyboard player as well as bass player. A lot of times the problem is Paul would either want to play the keyboards or play the bass, and he obviously couldn't do both at the same time, because during the Let It Be sessions, one of the things that they were planning on not doing was not having any overdubs whatsoever. It was going to be just the four of them, and if it wasn't able to be performed live and recorded at the same time, it didn't fit the rules that they set up for themselves. Some of these rules changed a little bit, and they were adjusted, as I said, when Billy Preston came into the band to become a temporary member. Now, on the 28th of January was the day that they recorded the actual version of the song that was released on the B-side. But then they also played it on the rooftop on January 30th. It is fun to see on the rooftop that even though John had been playing the song throughout the month, he wasn't totally sure of all the lyrics, and one of the assistants to the filmmakers had to hold up the lyrics in front of John so John could read it. And as we see in both the Let It Be movie and in the Get Back session, John still manages to screw up one of the lyrics, and it's quite enjoyable. Now, when all the sessions were over, they tried a couple of mixes of the album. Both were rejected. The tapes kind of sat there for a while until Phil Spector was invited to join the process and finish things up and release an album. Now, he didn't put Don't Let Me Down on the Let It Be album, which was sort of curious because John didn't have that many songs on the album in the first place. Early on for the Beatles in England, if they released a song on a B-side, they wouldn't put it on an album. This might have been what Phil Spector was thinking when he decided that he didn't want to put Don't Let Me Down on the Let It Be album. However, Get Back is the A-side of the single that Don't Let Me Down was the B-side on, and that's the last song on the Let It Be album. So we're not really sure why Phil Spector decided not to put that on the album. The Get Back, Don't Let Me Down single was the first release of January of 1969, the first release of the sessions, and of course it was a big hit. It was critically acclaimed, and everybody wanted to know what was going to happen next. Ultimately, it wasn't until much later in the year that they got another album, which wasn't even Let It Be. It became Abbey Road. The Let It Be album came out a year after the sessions. And with that, it's time to say so long for another week here at Beetle U. I hope everyone has a great week, and that's about that now, isn't it? I'm Professor Moptop. Have a good one.